Stand-up Todd back again, driving home after a hard day's work. Who am I kidding? I haven't worked a hard day in a long time. Well, I don't have a hard job. I mean, not like labor intensive. Well, that's what I think of when I think of hard day's work. But anyway, that guy looked like he was going to run the lights, so I'll wait. Anyway, I was driving home, thought I could throw a couple thoughts together I had here about a game I checked out that I owned that I had mentioned in my last video. I hadn't even stuck in some games that I'd gotten previously, and so I finally stuck in Prototype and Twisted Metal. And what I want to talk about is Twisted Metal for the PS3. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe my tastes have changed. I don't know, but starting off, I mean, when the game started up, I watched the intro, and it was really disturbing to me. I mean, I tend to like to play characters where you're, a decent type of guy, given your situation. You're not, you might be an anti-hero or something, but you're at least in that kind of hero mindset. And for one, I mean, maybe I don't know, because I didn't look, if there's a way, but it just seemed like the only person you could play starting off was Sweet Tooth. And don't get me wrong, I love Twisted Metal Black, but Sweet Tooth has never been my guy. I know he's the icon character for the franchise, but I've never, excuse me, I wish I had something to drink, cared for him that much. And in Twisted Metal Black, you could pick whatever character you wanted to start off playing. But as far as I could tell, in this Twisted Metal on the PS3, you have to play Sweet Tooth, at least at the beginning, at least the first time you play through it. And I don't know, that's where I have a problem, because the whole intro, I'm just going to spoil the shit out of it if anybody hasn't seen it. So, I mean, if you don't want to know, fine. If you don't like my thoughts on it, that's fine too. But it starts off by showing like a deserted looking road at dusk, and there's like an old AM looking radio, kind of a handheld radio laying on the side of the road. And you can hear this like talk show host over the speakers going on and on about, it's that time of the year again. We got these nuts calling. Check this guy out. This guy calls, he takes this call, and this guy's like talking about Calypso and talking about the race and, how hell's coming and all this. And, this guy's like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, buddy. And then he plays, hangs up on the dude and plays some kind of like cuckoo clock sound, and he's like, these nuts call every year, da-da-da-da-da. And then he's like, but I will say this, and this talk show announcer guy or whoever it is like, it is dangerous out there, folks, and I would recommend going home, locking your doors, and, taking the night off or something to that effect. And it kind of cuts from there to play into a song. I don't remember what the song was. And as the song's coming up, you see this blood pool start coming in from the side of the screen, floating over toward the radio, and it starts panning slowly in the direction of the blood pool. And you see this woman's, set of woman's legs, and it keeps panning over, and you see somebody walking off in the distance. And, I know it's Sweet Tooth because he's got the flaming head and everything, and, as it's panning over, you see that it's this woman that he has killed, slit her throat or whatever. And he's walking back over to his ice cream truck, and he's got somebody in there with him, some friend of his, which I don't remember from Twisted Metal Black. And the guy asks him, you know, he's like, was that her? And Sweet Tooth's like, no, that wasn't her. That's just another piece of meat, you know, basically is what he says. And then he goes on to get behind the wheel and take off. And he goes on to talk about how the only thing in his life that's ever haunted him is the fact that one of the very first people he tried to kill got away. You know, and it's like, it cuts back to this like farmhouse and him like inside this farmhouse kind of stalking after this woman, and she's like crawling to get away from him and stuff, and you know, he's got this huge fucking serrated machete, you know, and he's crawling you know, she's crawling away from him, you know, and he's just coming toward her and stuff, and then he grabs her leg and starts pulling her, and you know, kind of like, I think he's going to drag her down the hall or something, and she happens to grab a hold of a pair of sewing scissors or something that's on the side table there in the hallway, and is able to stab him in the eye, you know, with him, and get away and make it out the door. And he goes, you know, the thing that really bothers me about it is she was able to hurt me, you know, and he's like, he basically goes on to say, you know, if he wins the contest, the one thing he's going to ask for is this girl, so he can basically torture and kill her. You know, and I'm like, this is pretty fucking dark, you know, for me. I mean, like I said, I tend to like to walk a line where I play games where you have an anti-hero or whatever, but he's justified in what he's doing or whatever, but there's no justification for what they're having this character do. He's just a sick fuck that's killing people. And he's upset because one of the people he tried to kill got back at him and got away from him, you know? And I don't know, like I said, maybe I'm getting old, maybe, you know, but to me, this is, it almost made me turn the game off and not even want to play into the game. That was just the intro, and I was like, man, I almost got up and I almost shut it off. And then I was like, oh, I'll check out the gameplay, you know. And I played like two of the matches, beat two of the matches, and then was kind of like, you know, I'll quit for now, because I couldn't figure out a way, you know, as far as I could tell, to switch characters to another character. That's one thing I loved about Twisted Metal Black, because there were so many characters and you could pick any of them to start off with. And I don't know, it just really turned me off to even wanting to play the game. And I don't know when or if I'll go back to it. And I just wanted to know if you think I'm just a pussy or whatever, but to me, it's just sick, you know, in a way, to have a character that's that blatantly sadistic and just does that. And not only that, his big regret in life is that this one got away, you know. And I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm weird for that, or do you agree, you know, or am I just, like I said, am I just making too much of it? You know, to me, it's not even really that cool. It's not cool at all, you know. I mean, I don't remember Sweet Tooth being that dark, and I have most of the Twisted Metal games. I mean, I know I have 1, 3, and 4. I don't know why I'm missing 2, but I have 1, 3, and 4 on the PlayStation 1, and I have Twisted Metal Black, and I don't remember Sweet Tooth being such a dark character. I mean, of course, it seemed like back in the day you didn't have as in-depth of a story bent, you know, with the characters, but even in Black, I don't remember him being that dark. I remember him being more of a Joker-esque, you know, kind of character, where, yeah, he was kind of sadistic and he had the clown side to him, but at the same time, he had this weird charisma and charm, and you forgave a lot of stuff because of that. And that's really the best comparison I can make to a character like that, is the Joker. You know, that he's really kind of twisted, but at the same time, you kind of can't quit watching him or wanting to see what he's going to do. But it's like they took that idea and bastardized it into this really just dark, you know, sick idea that to me kind of ruined it for me, you know. And I'm glad I didn't pay full price for the game, for sure. Definitely glad I didn't pay full price. But it just I don't know, you know, maybe I'm making too much of it. I don't think I am. I think that it kind of went over the top to the point where I don't know if they thought that was what people wanted, but it turned me off, and I don't know that I would buy another Twisted Metal game again, you know. But in that same voice, that's really not my type of game anyway. Car, you know, anything to do with cars, I'm not a big fan of anyway, even if it's Destruction Derby or anything like that. But in the same breath, I mean, I don't know. It was too much. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll post this. I'll see what you all say. Thumb up, thumb down, you know, the whole deal, you know, comment. I'd like to know what you think. If you played it, for one, and what you think about how dark they made that character, and why did they do it? You know, why did they think that's what people wanted, or is it what people want nowadays? Because if it is, I'm out of touch.